sun cream on.
Yeah, I factor. Well, it's only factor 30 though. You know me, I need the factor 50 a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm surprised I have factor 30 on as well, you know. Keep my skin looking young.
Because we are this is the sunniest part of Ireland. We're in the sunny southeast.
Oh, what a day to be here.
So welcome to Wexford, Ireland's sunniest county, home of strawberries.
Yeah, there's loads of stuff that you guys love ranting and raving about, and we're going to dive into all of that today, aren't we?
The Wexford Opera Festival, Saving Private Ryan, if you've ever seen Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, what do you call the beach?
Well, Curracloe Beach with the Normandy scene, filmed in Wexford. And yeah, Rizzoles, strawberries, Yellowbelly Lager. You know, there's loads of stuff.
And an amazing pub, which we're going to go and check out.
Yeah, I think it's about that time.
Deadly, let's go. Welcome to episode 3 of Poor Decisions. My name is Ronan Collins.
My name is Michael Cowman.
And we are in the sky, in the ground, in Wexford. It's this wonderful bar / pub because we've got a cocktail bar, we've got a lounge upstairs, and we've just got this like wonderful whiskey mecca all around us.
Yeah, and we are in the sunny southeast. It is the sunniest part of Ireland. Wexford is the sunniest county in Ireland. Of course, that is like saying the safest place in Baghdad. So it's all relative, really. But yeah, welcome to Wexford, Ro.
Oh, here, I'm actually really happy to be here. We've been here once before, but I feel like this trip I really got to like be more involved with what's going on. And like Wexford, I've never actually asked you about it.
I mean, I do volunteer a lot of information unprompted. But I mean, yeah, Wexford is amazing county. I think when you're from Wexford, you know, it is a great place. We're not like Cork people. We don't think it's the greatest place in the world, but we're very fond of it. You know?
Yeah, you do have a thing about like how Cork people just love Cork. But, you know, we'll get to Corkonians at some other episode. But Wexford, where do we start? Like, I know you love etymology. Like, what does the word mean?
Where does the name come from? So, I mean, look at the Coilme. So, you know, I'm from Wexford. Wexfjord, originally founded as a Viking settlement in the same way that Waterfjord was. So somewhere out there's a fjord, I don't know, somewhere, who knows. I mean, there's two main dates. So Wexford is known as the model county for farming techniques, you know, quite a boring story. But there's two main dates that everybody in Wexford knows, every child in Wexford is taught. So it's 1798, which was the an Irish rebellion against the British. So that was Father John Murphy. If you've ever heard the song Boule of Vogue, it's like a famous folk ballad, all that kind of thing. And the lads rose up and there was a battle of Vinegar Hill and there was pikes and we got murdered and slaughtered and whatever. And then from then onwards, yeah, things got significantly worse in Ireland following that.
And the second date, is it any more joyful?
It is. It actually is far more joyful. So it's 1996, which if you ask any Wexford hurling fan, that will be the date. So that's the last time Wexford won in All-Ireland. Because we are a very passionate, if often disappointed, GAA county. Hurling is the sport in Wexford.
But you genuinely love GAA and hurling. Like you're like, anyone who's a Wexford hurling fan, that's all of you. That's everyone from Wexford.
Yeah, it is the majority. And to be fair, since about 96, we've had precious little to celebrate. And the thing about being a Wexford hurling fan, if you're a Mayo football fan, I guess it's the hope that kills you. You know, it's you keep getting to finals and you keep losing. Whereas when you're from Wexford, you just don't even get the finals. You know, I was going to games for years playing Kilkenny. It's like, sure, will it be 16 points today? Will it be 20? But I mean, the patron saint of Wexford is this guy right here. So this is Martin's story. So the last time Wexford won in All-Ireland 96, this was the captain. So,
and I can't even pretend like this is the first time I've seen this. You and I have been friends for a long time. And for anyone who doesn't know or hasn't seen this before, this is one of many framed photos of Martin's story that Michael owns. This is his medium-sized one. He has a pocket-sized one. You have a travel size.
Well, it's important that people recognise and realise the history of Wexford. So sometimes, maybe I'll get a picture of a guy with a pike printed out at some stage. But at the moment, it's Martin's story. In the future, the next time we win in All-Ireland, hopefully it'll be Lee Chin. All right? And he's the current Wexford hurling hero. But Martin Story is I suppose he's the patron saint of Wexford.
Who I genuinely feel like I have adopted as a bit of a patron saint of our friendship, because when we go on our Christmas outings, we bring a picture of him everywhere we go.
And I mean, important to note that the tash is fantastic. It's a very 90s tash. I think it's important to kind of state that, but he was a fashion icon at the time.
Now, icon, right? So again, only personally recently heard about Martin's story in the past couple of years from you. But when I hear about Wexford, the icon of Wexford, in my opinion, was strawberries. Because, you drive through Wexford and,
I come prepared.
I love this.
I saw a tweet recently there was a girl said, my little cousin failed her driving test because she was asked what signs they usually see on the road. And her answer was fresh strawberries.
That's not true.
Well, I hope it is. I really hope it is. But yeah, Wexford, by virtue of the fact we are the sunniest county in Ireland, good land, sunny county, great for growing strawberries.
Here, the way global warming's going, mate.
We'll be growing pineapples soon.
All right, I'm going to grab one of these.
Yeah, they're absolutely massive.
Is there a way to eat strawberries?
With your mouth?
Yeah, very good. Unreal.
I mean, who doesn't like a strawberry?
Yeah, here, not me. I love strawberries. Strawberries, Martin's story, it's all going well for Wexford. And even this year, speaking of just drinks and specific drinks, any drinks lovers out there would know this, you had the Southeast Whiskey Festival.
Southeast Whiskey Festival.
Biggest, most successful whiskey festival in Southeast
history.
Yeah.
I mean, some people would say it's the greatest whiskey festival in Ireland. Some people would say it's the greatest whiskey festival that has ever taken place anywhere. Yeah. Some people would say that. Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily.
Your mum's lovely, isn't she?
Yeah, she is very nice, to be fair to her. Southeast Whiskey Festival. So that took place just March, just gone. So again, going to take place this coming March. And so we get producers from all over the island come down to Wexford, do tastings in a variety of different bars. The Sky being certainly one of them. But
not just producers. Your unique selling point, so to speak, is only distilleries in Ireland that are actually distilling and making their own Irish whiskey. Because right now in Ireland, there's a lot of distilleries with a lot of unaged whiskey or unaged spirit that someday will be whiskey, but you specialize in the ones that can only produce their own.
Yeah, and I mean, in addition to that, there's a lot of the brands and distilleries sourcing the liquid, which is absolutely fine as well. But as our USP, we're kind of saying, what can we do? So we're talking to distilleries from all over the island. So the likes of your Dingles, your Waterfords, Middleton, places that have mature spirit that they can call whiskey. And so last year we did 16 tastings. This year we'll probably broaden it out a little bit because of the nature of things, that there are now more distilleries with mature liquid. So it is expanding and increasing all the time.
Yeah, and it was a class weekend. Like, it really was. And you just ran that all yourself.
All by myself. No, so three of us kind of came together with the idea. Three of us who work in drinks, whiskey, the trade, so to speak. So myself, Dahi O'Connell from WD O'Connell Whiskey, who you may know. And then the proprietor of the lovely Sky on the Ground here, Johnny Barron. So Johnny was instrumental in kind of bringing a lot of the Wexford pub community together in the town and getting them on side for something that they hadn't done before, weren't really sure if they wanted to do it. And obviously Johnny is a lot like the pub here, he's a great character. So, I mean, that might be a good opportunity.
Yeah, will we get him to come and chat to us about the bar?
Yeah, I mean, if we can pull him down. Yeah, let's get him.
Cool. Grand. Johnny.
Here we are with Johnny Barron, the proprietor of the Sky on the Ground here in Wexford. Johnny, welcome to the podcast.
And you're welcome to Wexford and welcome to Sky on the Ground.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I mean, we've been friends for years. Friends maybe is a
stretch.
Yeah. Southeast Whiskey Festival together, and obviously, the last few years have been difficult with COVID. You had a fire just before COVID as well.
Well, just after.
Just after COVID.
Well, during it, really.
During, really, yeah. And I, like, a lot of people will want to know, why did you do it?
Yeah, you're not the first to ask that, like, but no, Jesus, I wish it hadn't happened, to be honest with you, because it was a nightmare, on top of everything else. But look, we've rebuilt, we're open again.
Yeah. No, and I remember being down here just after, and the smell of smoke, and the wall was missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the wall was missing. Fairly bad damage. Now, it really was, like, bigger than we thought. Yeah. And much more. When the engineers came in, they kind of just basically, condemned that whole side over there. So, yeah, and then it was a year whole year rebuilding and getting everything
But
ready.
I think, to be fair, like the pub looks probably better than it's ever looked. I think it's fair.
Yeah. Every cloud has a silver lining, as I say, you know. So it's turned out to be, I suppose, a benefit that we were able to kind of upgrade a lot of stuff while we were actually redoing the whole place, you know.
So let's wind it back a little bit. Let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about the pub. What was it? I know because we've talked about
What
this before.
was it when we bought it?
When did you take it over? All that kind of jazz.
Well, weirdly enough, it was a burnt out shell when we bought it.
life is a circle, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it used to be called the Kingdom Bar. That burnt down in 93, I think. And we were looking around trying to get into this business. We had nearly bought another place, but that kind of fell through. So then this was plan B. And when we had another look at it, we discovered the place was bigger than we thought. So we kind of went for it. And in December 95, we actually bought it. And in December 96, we opened.
What a great year. We were just talking about 96.
Great year. Yeah.
But when you talk about the space, there's so many snugs and there's so many little hidden cracks and crevices and upstairs and in here and whatever.
So we just wanted to recreate a kind of an old style grocery pub. Yeah. So did a bit of research into what it used to look like, and it was a butcher's as well. Okay. So it was a butcher, grocer, pub back in this day. Yeah. So this is why we kind of like salvaged everything that we could out of the old burnt building, and then just went on searching around for everything we could.
And Johnny, have you always been a hoarder?
Yeah. That begins with H. Yeah. Okay. I am bad. I've had to stop. Yeah. Really, you know. Although I do purchase now and again, just little things, and the amount of stuff that we had was because I know you've
sold off reams of stuff.
Loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Like in this bar alone, when we redid it, like we had to take everything out, put back in, clean it, the whole lot. There's only about 30% of the stuff back up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
and like
the rest is still upstairs.
For anybody who hasn't been here, every wall is covered with old ads. You know, the old kind of tin ads. Everything is very, very.
The ceiling used to be covered as well.
Yeah.
So, but I kind of like seeing the ceiling again.
Yeah.
So I've kind of not gone back at that.
Well, that's one of the cool things we wanted to chat to you about is the bungee cords, the whiskey on bungee cords behind the
our solution to space. We ran out of space for whiskeys because the whiskey thing just went from like 0 to 100, like it was mental. And thanks to Willie Murphy and all that, like, so we came up with the solution, bungee thing. Now I can't say I did spot it in an old photograph, and I kind of zoomed in and kind of figured out what they'd done. It was like Jubilee clips, bungee ropes, and hooks, and we worked it out. That's it.
Because in fairness, you've a class collection. I think.
Yeah, it's fairly big.
You're certainly the biggest in Wexford.
Yeah. Oh, geez, yeah.
And you would be among the biggest whiskey bars in the southeast, certainly as well. I'd say.
Oh yeah, I'd say it would. Well, if you just go by numbers of whiskies we have, I think it's definitely over 500. It's just nuts.
And I mean, you don't necessarily expect that in Wexford, I guess, and that was the point of us that we were talking about when we ran the Southeast Whiskey Festival, that we wanted to kind of broaden that out and get more bars to get into whiskey.
We do, and that's happened. And that's helped a lot. Like, and we'll be doing tastings in like in the Swan and Mackin's and elsewhere, and probably Simon's as well. Yeah. And the Crown during the year. Yeah. They won't all just be here. So, which is great.
So people are like, maybe there's something in this whiskey thing.
Yeah. I hope there is.
even your cocktail bar, like you have like a legit great cocktail bar now.
Yeah, well, we took the opportunity to build that in when we were redoing the bar in there. Like cocktails, we didn't do cocktails really to that extent, but now we kind of went, look, we'll up our game, put in a proper little station, and it's working very well.
And to be fair, it's not the Tequila Sunrise, Sex on the Beach. It's genuinely
good classics.
Classic cocktails that are well done, well executed. So fair play. And even you've mezcals, you've tequilas, you've rums. I know you're a big rum fan as well.
Big rum fan. Yeah. Big. Yeah, as you can see, there's a good few in there that are crackers. Like,
Johnny's just hired in. There's a guy working here from Cuba now as well, who's the local rum expert as well, by virtue of the fact he is Cuban.
He's just we made him that. He's just from Cuba, like I asked him one day, well, what kind of rum do you like? Well, the only rum we can get. I said, what's that? Like, just white rum.
Yeah,
we don't drink,
anything
brown
else.
rum.
Yeah,
it's just all the 70% mental shit.
But he said to me, he was like, "Oh, you know, we were having a little chat, and he said, you know, a bottle of Havana Club, which is half owned by the Cuban government, is about $1 in Cuba, whereas a bottle of, say, Jameson or an import product might be $50-$60. So nobody drinks it.
Understandably.
Why would you? Yeah, imagine every bottle of Irish whiskey was €1. Why would you drink anything else ever? That might lead to some issues.
Yeah, it would.
100%.
We have enough issues as it is.
Yeah. I mean, we have our own issues. What is your favorite thing that you have here in the pub? I know we chatted about that Tato sign behind you.
Yeah,
before.
that has to be it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's rare.
Where's that from? What's the crack with that?
Bought it off Paddy Rebel one day, who I buy a lot of stuff off. He has a bric-a-brac and an antique place down by Wellington Bridge. Been dealing with it for 25 years, and one day I went in and said, "Okay, that's nice. How much do you want for that?" I think he said €50 or £50. So done. And I've been offered crazy money for it. Like,
it is. Yeah. It's cool, and I think
never sell it.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter Anya has put her name on it, so
yeah. And I mean,
stay there until
that's the thing.
Whatever.
Half the family are in the trade now as well.
Well, 1/3. Yeah. Kaelin and Sabia do their own thing. Anya's involved in pubs.
And then half of them are in your will, so that's going to somebody.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. Well, it's already been claimed, so so they can fight over it. I'm not going to be around.
Yeah. And I suppose the last thing on the kind of drinks offering, you do a good bit of craft beer. I know you're.
We do.
Yeah.
God love them. It's they had a struggle through COVID and lockdown, and even when we reopened, the whole focus on the amount of people coming in and just ordering Guinness or
support local.
Yeah. So the craft is creeping back. Sales are coming back, but it's been tough.
Yeah.
And the Yellowbelly being our local one
which is
our
literally
bestseller.
What, 50 meters up the road, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, we're going to wrap this up. We do have a final question for you. So
okay.
You may remember the show Room 101. So it's where you consign something to the room that you never want to see again. So we're going to ask you from a drinks perspective, if you had to get rid of one thing in drinks, it could be a drink, could be a person, could be Ronan.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this one is, I suppose, a bugbear maybe for a lot of pubs. It's a whole group of people.
I think I know where this is going.
No. The people who take your good glasses. Just, take them on you.
I didn't see that one coming.
And, all your good gin glasses, your good whiskey glasses, they just walk, And I wish people would stop. Because the same people come in and go, why can't I get that nice glass I had the last time? Well, someone took it.
Yeah, because you have it at home.
You have it at home.
Bring it back
in and then we'll use it. So that's my bugbear. It is so annoying. We invest a lot of money in good glassware and it just walks,
It's like I don't know, have you ever seen the Absolute pineapples? And on the bottom of it has stolen from Absolute because the amount of them that just get robbed was just insane.
Yeah. So but then I thought long and hard, and I could have picked a drink or whatever, but this is probably one of the most annoying things that makes total sense.
That makes total sense. Yeah. And because I guess when the gin glasses, when the balloons became, but how do you even get that into a handbag?
We were losing a dozen every weekend, and luckily Schweppes were very good and other companies were giving them to us.
Yeah.
But eventually that stopped and then we had to kind of go buy them. And one day I just went, no more balloons. We just go with a really good, nice kind of highball glass for it. And they all went.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, that's locked in the room now.
Yeah.
Hopefully those people never come back.
Never get out. Yeah. It's crowded in there now.
There's definitely a few E's in there.
Yeah.
There definitely is a few E's in there.
Yeah.
Well, here, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
I shall leave you and love you.
Thank you very much, mate. Actually, will you do us a favour? Will you throw us out 2 pints of
Yellowbelly?
Yeah, please. Thanks very much.
Good man yourself. Ah, you're grand. You're runners.
Nice. Bacon fries, cheese melted on them.
Served in a shoe.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
Thanks very much.
Right. I love it. Hey, cheers, Johnny.
I think.
Yeah. So we just thought we were getting a pint of Yellowbelly local Wexford craft IPA, but we also got your shoes with bacon, fries, and cheese.
Served in tinfoil. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what's going on here. But listen, I'll try it anyway. I mean, they are my shoes, so I'm okay with it.
I'm not, because they're your shoes. But anyway, here, cheers. Cheers. Oh, yes. That is just like cold and crisp and fruity and refreshing. Ooh, especially when it's so hot outside. That's good. I like that.
No, it is. It's literally locally, like we said, 50, 60 meters up the road from here.
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount of, so there are craft breweries, not really within the county bounds, but Yellowbelly is the main one really that has been going for a while.
Yeah, here, that'll be good for a wee barbecue out in the sun,
Oh, I've definitely taken a few cans of that to barbecues before.
I'm just gonna put these under here.
I mean, they are pretty good. You didn't feel like tasting them?
No, yum.
Johnny'd be very upset.
But yeah, like class with a wee barbecue probably comes in a can. Drink that on the beach or wherever you have barbecues.
Yeah, I mean, barbecues. What do we have in Ireland at barbecues?
Because it is barbecue season. That is actually it's probably why it's in my head. A lot of us are talking about like barbecues. We're just deep in barbecue season.
Yeah, we definitely are. I mean, it's 25 degrees out. The 3 days a year that we get the 25 degrees, and we automatically revert into barbecue mode. Barbecue mode in Ireland means burnt sausages. Means my uncle in a pair of jorts. He's very fond of a pair of jorts. This is my childhood memory, and a bag of cans. And
I have add Ballymaloe relish in there, and that's my family.
It's essentially the same.
Pretty
thing.
much, yeah.
My uncle is famous for his cut out, and they weren't like tailored jorts. They were like he'd get a pair of jeans and cut them just somewhere below his arse, and he was famous for it.
He just loved that one scene in Top Gun, when they're playing like
playing the volleyball. Well, I guess he would have grown up kind of 70s, 80s, so maybe that is where it comes from. But it depends on where you are. I guess what you're drinking at a I mean, we'd certainly. I know if we were having a barbecue, it'd be craft IPAs and it'd be a bit of whiskey or some sort of spirits.
Pre-batch cocktails over block ice probably.
Yeah, we're very bougie.
Oh, yeah.
But depending on where you go in the world, it's going to be a different thing. So, used to live in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
God help you if you called it a barbecue in South Africa.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, here, I would have come in from a surf. You probably would have come in from selling like premium hooch. And I'd be like, whoever you had to say to South Africa, be like, oh, here, are we having a barbecue tonight? You would have got probably a slap.
You would have a clip around
because it's called a braai.
Yeah. So braai, which comes from Dutch, I think it literally means to grill. I don't know what the word is, but essentially etymology, blah, 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 to grill. But the main difference is you're talking big open fires, and South Africa being a country of meat, it is. They will literally get up and braai half a cow. And what are you drinking with it? Well, you drink a beer, right? So biggest things in South Africa generally, huge beer country, huge wine country. It's on the doorstep. And brandy is the main different point. But it's, I mean, you're in a country where wine is so big. So what's a byproduct of wine? You distill wine. What do you get?
Yeah, brandy. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll drink. Be like Clipdrift is the local brand.
Yeah.
It's like Clippies and Coke is the brandy. And it's a big thing among like the Afrikaans community and whatever. So the Dutch Afrikaans in South Africa, and they love the brandy. I remember when so there's a friend of mine who runs an off license down in Limerick, and when a lot of the South African guys who went to play for Munster, he sent me a message like, anywhere I can get some like South African brandy that you know of. And I was like, no mate, like they literally don't export it outside of the country really, because I mean there's some good stuff.
Yeah, but it's not, it doesn't necessarily stand up to the French when it comes to that.
No, and I remember a buddy of mine who was an Afrikaans guy, and he poured me a brandy, and he goes, I'll get you some Coke. And I said, no, I'll because I'm, I like spirits. I said, no, I'll taste it. I'll just have it neat. And he just laughed at me. He goes, no. And I remember sipped it, and I went, yeah, maybe I'll take the ice. Maybe I'll take the Coke. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily stand up to.
I actually just drank beer.
Yeah.
When it came to braais.
Castle Lager.
Castle, yeah. Which was fine. It was cheaper. And
there's some good beer over there, and it is cheap.
Yeah, and when you have such a phenomenal like braai meat offering, it's almost like it's secondary to the quality that's on the braai.
Yeah.
But like around the world, there's just so many places that do it in so many different like cool I was in Mongolia. They do Mongolian barbecue. I didn't have it over there, but like South Korea.
But I do remember when you mentioned Mongolian barbecue. I remember there was a Mongolian girl came into. We were drinking in a bar in Cape Town one night, and my friend is Indian South African, and she came in and she asked, "Oh, what's the weirdest thing I can eat when I'm in South Africa?" And he went, "Oh, I guess like we do a lot of sheep's head on the barbecue." And she just kind of looked at him really disappointed, and she's like, "Oh, we have that all the time in Mongolia."
I actually think that's up there with the weirdest thing I've ever eaten, because I lived in Mongolia, or I was in Mongolia for so long. I had 3 sheep's heads.
And
It was grand.
yeah,
I don't love eating the eye. Like I probably
did you eat the eye?
I did one. I ate one of them. I did. I wish I was quicker with that. I did one time. Yeah, but like up there was like.
Does it kind of burst in your mouth?
Yeah, but not as aggressive as that. It depends on how it's cooked, I think.
I ate a snake once. It was live, and I had food poisoning for a week after. So in the end, I guess the snake
won.
Yeah, well, he certainly had it. Well, he's dead, which I wasn't. But he certainly got a bit of revenge on me.
Yeah, I reckon so. A bit of revenge. Does that work? But yeah, like, and when you start to actually like delve into like people at barbecues and what they drink, again, South Korea, soju and mixer, in England.
And soju's like what? It's a rice wine?
Yeah, rice wine. I think it's the second biggest spirit in the world after baijiu.
You've baijiu, you've soju, you've all these spirit categories in Asia that we don't really touch. And I mean, we've had baijiu together before, and I remember I sent a bottle of baijiu to a friend of mine for a bit of a joke. And he said, that tastes like dirty socks. And to be fair to him, it kind of does.
Not wrong, but we enjoyed it. But I like obviously lived in England for a long time because space is such a premium in London. Like having a barbecue, you get those wee £5 ones from like Tesco, light them, and like
that's great.
Have like the wee tinfoil yolks.
Yeah, I've only ever had them at festivals.
Yeah. But like every day in London's like a festival. And then like make a big jug of Pimm's and like drink that,
So Pimm's, right? I always hear Pimm's, Wimbledon.
Yeah.
What is Pimm's?
I don't know. I've actually never drank it. I always just like say I drink Pimm's, but I never have. I actually usually just drink a gin and tonic.
It seems ferociously British.
Oh, it is. Like it's the most quintessential. When somebody's like a Pimm's cup, when I first moved over, I thought it was like a Reese's Pieces thing. I was like, oh, yeah, I love like cups of chocolate.
I mean, I'm on board with Wimbledon. I'm on board with their strawberries thing.
Yeah, I thought
as long as they're from Wexford. But yeah, the Pimm's thing, I don't know.
Yeah, we can. I can. No, I'm fine.
What is it? 86? Is that the kitchen term?
Whatever. I wouldn't even bother. I couldn't care.
We do have our resident Argentinian producer Agustina here.
Yeah.
So she's Argentinian.
They love grilling.
Yeah, the South Americans love a good grill.
Yeah.
Uruguay, Argentina, big asada barbecues. Asado. Okay.
Oh yeah. You sounded French, but I liked it.
Yeah. Well, look, you just lean into whatever you can do.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, big. They basically, it's like if you were trying to crucify a cow, is kind of with the way they grill it over there.
No way.
I mean, what did they drink?
Well, in Argentina,
there is only one drink.
Fernet con cola.
Which means what?
Fernet and Coke. Yeah, let me just check my notes on that. But yeah, there's 75% of the world's Fernet goes to Argentina, or is consumed in Argentina. And actually, in the International Bartenders Association in 2020,
okay, so recent,
like affirmed it as the national drink of Argentina, and affirmed it as a cocktail in its own right.
It is wild how, and it's Italian, right? Italian. It is wild how certain countries just adopt a drink, and it's like, cool, this is what we drink now.
Yeah,
because I think there is a Fernet. It's the only place outside of Italy, I think, that it's made. I think there is a Fernet.
Oh, is there?
I hesitate to say factory, but distillery. Yeah. In Argentina to keep up with that demand.
Oh, I love that.
But the thing is that you get to a certain age, right? As a man. And this is the joke that you either have to get into golf, you get into World War II, or smoking meat.
Yeah.
And I feel like the smoking meat thing has become huge in the last few years.
Yeah, like it really has. Even like on the Netflix, on the Amazon,
the Netflix. Who are you, my man? On the internet.
But yeah, like online, you always
On
see,
the line.
on the line. Yeah, put that on the internet. But like, obviously, America has been doing that. Did the Americans invent barbecue?
So yeah, I think it's kind of Caribbean. So Taino Indians, Taino, the native peoples of the kind of Caribbean. So the story, I mean, the first time that that kind of Western civilization comes into contact with that kind of barbecue is supposed to be when Christopher Columbus goes across, sees the Taino Indians in Hispaniola, as it was at the time, but that kind of region in around Cuba, that kind of neck of the woods. And so they were smoking meats. And so that's where it comes from. Literally, the word barbecue comes from, I think, an Arawak word, which is, again, that kind of area of the Caribbean, which, again, is where it means to grill, basically. And that's where we've adopted the word from. And if you look at where barbecue is strongest, or, where they're very, very proud of
the
it.
barbecue belt.
It overlaps over that.
I
Yeah,
know,
it definitely does. What is it, the Mason-Dixon, south of that Mason-Dixon line? The south of the US.
They're mad.
They love it.
Love it.
And every second show on Netflix seems to be Billy's Barbecue Challenge,
And like it actually makes me think that I can do it if Billy can do it. But then like how they convert things and do it. But like then we link that in to like that barbecue and moonshiners. There is a kind of a Venn diagram of the same people once upon a time maybe did them all.
Yeah. But it is a community thing. And in the southern US, it became a community thing because you have poorer communities who can't maybe necessarily afford to eat huge amounts of protein. And they come together, they take a whole pig and they barbecue it, and it becomes a community event. What do we get at community events? We get hooch. Yeah. And the southern US, right? We've all sat at home, watched daytime TV. We've all seen moonshiners on the Discovery Channel. And yeah, that was, that is very much intertwined with that barbecue community and that kind of southern community, and that is very much part of their culture. In the same way as I suppose poaching was to an extent here. It's a very similar product. Which is, I suppose, a bit more intertwined into the culture there than.
Yeah, so almost like that kind of community aspect. If somebody had this big lump of meat and they were barbecuing it, maybe everyone would bring what they could to chip in. And because I know now, well, probably always maybe, but like it's quite fancy to like would chip your barbecue with like whiskey staves.
Yeah.
But sure, and maybe that was actually during, because that area, if you look at that region, very famous bourbon and American whiskey area. So maybe it was just easier once they retired a cask after they used it. They were like, should throw that in the barbecue at light.
And it all just makes sense when you look at the circularity around it and how bourbon is, you see a bourbon bar now these days, and there's barbecue places, and they will tend to focus on the bourbon and that kind of stuff because they are complementary flavors at the same time.
Yeah.
That kind of nice sweetness of the bourbon goes well with barbecue, which tends to be, those kind of sweet barbecue sauces and stuff as well. It just makes sense, man.
I love that.
Just makes sense.
And like you have like whiskey rubs and marinades and sauces. And like even now in Ireland, honestly, when you walk down the middle aisle of Lidl, it is
which is the test for all great things.
I think so. I think something has went so mainstream in Ireland when Lidl has loads of it.
Aldi is also available. All right, either one of us, if you want to sponsor us, we'll give you both a kick.
But like now, when you walk down, like this year, when you walk down for summer, there's like gas grills, charcoal grills, smoker, ceramic, eggs, and just everything. And now everyone in Ireland is like a fancy griller. One of our favorite festivals we went to last year was Big Grill. International grillers from all around the world just came and absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Yeah, and people were queuing for like 40 minutes, an hour to get a little bit of barbecue, and then it's a great occasion for a lot of the drink suppliers in Ireland.
Yeah.
Particularly a lot of the beer suppliers, I suppose, to get a really good day out of it, because it was, again, 25 odd degrees, and you're sitting around, you're drinking a few IPAs. Great day.
And actually, it's where we really noticed a lot of the whiskey brands in Ireland really tapped into cocktails at Mass. And we had probably some of the best food and drinks in Ireland in one place that day. Like, it was class. But like, I think Ireland's really adopting the barbecue culture quite nicely, and I'm on board with that.
Yeah, and look, if you look at how Ireland works in terms of trends, generally it'll happen in the States, and then in 5 to 7 years after that, it'll become popular here. But it's the same in drinks. Something will become popular in the States.
Yeah. Oh, it all filters down.
Yeah.
And And here, actually, this drink, I'd love a barbecue snack. We don't actually have anything. We just have your shoes filled with anything.
Well, we do have a snack.
Oh, yeah?
So I mean,
mixed bars are your favorite bar snacks.
Yeah.
What are we calling this section?
snacks with Mick. Mixed snacks. Mixed snack pyramid. Snacktacular snack snuck.
Yeah. Cowman snacks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what we have. Welcome back to what we're calling this, I think, is a mixed pyramid of snacks. Registered trademark. So this week I have a treat in store for you. Producer Dan, show us the snacks.
Oh, I like that reveal.
Yeah,
Good
the
work,
magic
producer
of the
Dan.
counter. So this week we have Cadbury's snack bar.
Ah, I love the way you dressed as a snack bar as well.
I am a snack pal, yeah.
Yeah, you tasty
I'm not
snack.
a snack, I'm a whole meal. So it is a chocolate bar, and again, these are ones that we tend to see in pubs more so than anywhere else. Again, these are my snacks that I tend to eat in pubs, and I generally don't eat these outside of a pub environment. So what is it? It is a milk chocolate
Sandwich
sandwich.
snack.
Yeah. So
And yeah, so last week it was top of the tree. So
where does it? And again, this is important because this is our first chocolate snack. Are you struggling again? He's like, so
what are these? Is there a child lock on these?
it would definitely keep you out. So it is our first chocolate snack. So we've done 2 crisps, and this is our first chocolate snack. And there's only one proper way to eat these. So you have to nibble off the chocolate from around like a little rabbit. Yeah, that is what you have to do. I haven't had one for ages.
I don't think I've ever had one of these.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they just kind of look like somebody designed it using like clip art or Microsoft Word. But now that I've eaten it, oh, I really like that.
And so there's 3 types of snacks, right? So there's a pink, a purple, and a yellow snack. So the yellow is like a shortbread thing. The pink, I don't know, I haven't seen for a long time. It's more of a wafery type thing. But this one for me is the quintessential kind of pub one.
But right, so that's delicious, right? Love that. But could you really have as a pub snack? Is that it's a one person? Do you share these? Do you break it in half and give it to someone? As in no, I know that. So my point is, with a bag of crisps or something, you might split it down the middle or open it and you kind of share it even between 2. Whereas like one, you need to buy 2 of those.
I mean, this isn't something we've thought about before. We haven't thought about the shareability of the snacks.
Well, that's what Poor Decisions is. Thought-provoking questions.
And yeah, there's definitely a point in that. For me, this is a personal snack. Yeah, maybe the crisps are more of a, you can buy a few packs and share them around among 5, but this is definitely a personal one. I don't know, do you want to, is that
well, I'm kind of just challenging this is your pyramid. And also the great thing about like the salty, savory snacks always pairs very well with nearly everything you're drinking. Does milk chocolate pair well with beer? Does it pair well with Hemmer? Just something to think about.
Just throw it out there. I guess if you're drinking spirits, if you're having a kind of a sherried whiskey or something, that chocolate can pair quite nicely. But the question becomes, where does this sit into mixed pyramid of snacks? So trademark. So where does it sit in? I guess, is it, so at the moment, McCoy's is it's perched at the apex of said pyramid. Below that, then on the rung below it, is bacon fries. I mean, I would hesitate to say this is, I guess if you're a chocolate person, maybe you might launch it into the top of the pyramid. But for me, I think you're right. I think that salty, savory kind of thing is generally what I'm looking for from a pub snack.
Yeah, like if somebody brought down a handful of sandwich snacks and dumped them on the table, you'd be like, class.
It's a purple snack. All right, it's just called a purple snack.
No, it says sandwich.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's not the name. Nobody would ever call it that.
It is actually the name, though. That's you're so incorrect because it actually is the correct name.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. That's not what people call it.
So, sandwich snack. 'Tis lovely. Tis lovely on the side.
And it is.
Yeah, it is lovely.
But if you're in a pub, yeah, but in fairness, if you're in a pub, where do these sit in the pyramid? I think we're kind of leaning towards this as the...
they're definitely not. I think I would prefer somebody came down with a bag of McCoys, personally.
Yeah.
Are they above bacon fries?
I mean, those bacon fries with the cheese from a shoe, which we had, were pretty good.
Yeah. I'll leave that to you. You make the hard decisions around here.
I'm going to... I make the poor decisions, pal.
Hey.
I would say that, yeah, just by virtue of the fact I probably want something salty, savory, it's going in at number 3 on the pyramid. So it's going to be, it's going to be below, I guess, if we're going left, right. So that's where it's going. It's going on that second tier, but only by virtue of the fact that we've only had 3 so far. So Mick's pyramid of snacks, the snack bar is going in at number 3.
Oh, hard truth, but still delicious.
Still delicious. Would still eat them.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Well, maybe not 10 out of 10.
It's not 10 out of 10.
It's not a 10 out of 10.
It's
a chocolate
delicious.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a chocolate sandwich.
it's a purple snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello?
And that
concludes your snacks for the week. I can't wait until the next episodes. We're kind of rolling to the end of this episode, and I know what's coming up.
Yeah, so you struggled like some sort of, when the duck, its feet are just going below the surface of the water. That was you last week with that 6, 12, 18, 24, but it was when the duck sinks. All right, so
I hated it, right? I thought that Mick was going to be annoyed at me because I'd messed it up. I panicked a lot. I genuinely thought my things were very good. I didn't realize bags of hair was going to be such a
contentious thing.
Yeah.
All right,
thought it was funny.
Let's reel it back in. We're going to put something in your wheelhouse for this week. All right, so
Okay.
Johnny Cocktail there, right? So we're going to introduce a new section.
Oh, I like that.
We're going to call it Cocktails with Collins. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and make people feel less stupid when they go up to order drinks at a bar.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw this to you.
Okay.
A nice softball.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a cocktail. Pick, a classic. And let's run through all the elements of it and how to order it.
So essentially, yeah. So if you go to a bar, maybe without a menu, and you're like, oh, I really want X, but I'm actually not too sure what those elements are. Great. Yeah, I love that.
Because sometimes choice can be paralyzing.
Yeah.
So let's demystify a little bit.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
Well, you've spoken about one of your favorite drinks. You spoke about it in episode 1 being a dry martini.
Yeah.
And the world of martinis it's just insane.
Well,
and how it's changed over the past couple of years.
It's a dirty dry martini because I am a basic white girl. So
there you go. Write that down if you ever want to buy him a drink. A dirty dry martini.
You ever want to take me home? That's all you have to do.
There we go. But yeah, so I'll do a martini.
Martini masterclass. Okay, super.
Will I make a dry martini for this?
I'm not here for ice cream.
Cool. Right, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Or like a couple of minutes. Yes, I love it. Dry martini. I didn't make them dirty. I just made it how I actually would like it, which is just a dry martini with a big lemon zest. Get those big citrus oils on top.
So we've taken away the pints and we've introduced what might be the world's largest dry martini. That is a big whack of a martini there, pal.
Oh, you're a big whack of a man.
All right, so let's break this down. Let's run from start to finish. Yeah. So first off, where is all that jazz come from?
Yeah, it's anytime I do like drinks tours or drinks talks on cocktails, I always kind of like preface it with like, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story when it comes to alcohol, because a lot of what we are searching for, I'm like, oh, where did that come from? Sometimes that wasn't written down because at the time that didn't seem relevant.
Yeah.
So a lot of things have kind of drifted through, and the martini is one of those. But again, we could spend actually hours, and there are books written on this drink, so I won't go through it too much. But essentially, where the kind of martini, I think, really comes into its own is when it was written down by Harry Craddock in 1900.
Okay.
And in his
so it's an old school cocktail.
This is like proper old school. All you really need is, a spirit, usually gin or vodka, some form of vermouth. Sometimes even as old as that, they would have put orange bitters into it.
Okay.
Ice, and then, these days we've kind of split into such a tributary of garnishes and variations. But yeah, in his book, he wrote about 2. He wrote about Martini Cocktail, which is pretty much as close to this one as possible, maybe a wee dash of orange bitters. And then the other one was Bradford a la Cocktail.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a Bradford a la Martini? Sorry.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that one?
No.
Have you ever heard of a shaken, not stirred martini?
I think Ian Fleming has a lot to answer for it, doesn't he?
He does, right? Because that's actually what I actually see that as a big kind of epicenter of confusion around the martini.
So James Bond, if anyone doesn't get the reference, I guess.
Yeah, if you didn't get the reference, James Bond.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 1900, this martini and the Bradford, essentially, is commonly known as, came out, and the Bradford was this martini. So we'll take the orange bitters out just for ease of modern talk, but dry vermouth, gin, and stirred with a lemon garnish. The Bradford was the same ingredients, just shaken, right? Now, 56 years later, Ian Fleming wrote Casino Royale, one of the best James Bonds ever. And James Bond is at the bar and he starts to like order the drink. And the famous line, "I'll have that shaken, not stirred." Now, that is not a Bradford, even though it's shaken. So it kind of Venn diagrams into the Bradford martini because it's shaken. It's actually a Vesper because he created that drink after the love interest.
Yeah, so he actually listed out the recipe for the cocktail?
Yeah. So it's he name calls 2 brands as well. 2 parts Gordon's gin, 1 part vodka, half or a quarter Quina Lille, which doesn't exist anymore. Like obviously Lille Blanc is the closest to it. And then shaken. So it's kind of got that, it's both a gin and a vodka martini, but it's shaken like a Bradford.
I mean, I feel like if you start adding gin and vodka to drinks, it starts to get a little bit...
but when you're James Bond,
you can do what you want.
Okay,
so hold on. Before we kind of get into the ordering, why don't I want it shaken?
I suppose we would always, like classically when you shake something like this, like a martini, we would say it bruises the spirit.
The poor gin.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Like something that's like 35%. And I was like, no, you bruise it. I think if we had one stirred and one shaken, you would see the shaken one would be cloudier because you're introducing so much dilution so quickly. We typically stir it just to keep the mouthfeel. We chill it and dilute it, kind of under control. Okay. But then flash forward to kind of the 1989, early 90s, and we get like the neo martinis, kind of what kind of the world of martinis that we now know it.
So the espresso, the porn star,
pretty much anything that usually contained vodka that was in a V-shaped glass. French martini, porn star martini, and the espresso martini, which is probably the most famous globally. It started off life actually in a rocks glass. Did I ever tell you this story?
No.
So that actually started a very, very famous London bartender, Dick Bradsell, in the Soho Brasserie. He created that in '89. And the story goes, like, he was quoted as saying, like, the coffee culture, obviously now we have huge coffee everywhere, but he had an espresso machine and he said it was just covered in espresso beans everywhere. And it was during London Fashion Week, and a supermodel came up to him and asked him for something to wake her up and fuck her up. And he was like, well, vodka gets everyone drunk and everyone loves vodka. And this coffee thing apparently is great at waking people up.
The 80s, every drink was vodka.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And he put coffee liqueur and a wee touch of sugar, but now that was served on the rocks with a couple of coffee beans. Later progressed as that neo martini style, that V-shaped style. He progressed it, took the sugar out, and that's the modern espresso martini. Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, how do you feel about a little bit of role play?
I love role play, Michael. I thought you'd never ask.
So what we're going to do, right? We're going to pretend I'm going up to the bar and I want to order a martini. So let's run through. Like this is world-class service, all right?
Oh, absolutely.
Hello there, sir. I would it's behind the back. Where's your little waistcoat? No. So I come up, I go, I want a martini.
Mm-hmm. I won't be drinking behind the bar, but I'm just going to drink for this one. Yeah. That would be great if you went into the bar. I want a martini. I was like,
These are class.
These are class, boy. Right, grand, yeah.
So I want a martini.
So I suppose these steps are what I would expect from like the best.
Okay.
Martini, I'd be like, oh, fantastic. Would you like that vodka or gin? As typically they're the two. People go wild, but let's just say vodka and gin are typically the two. So vodka or gin?
Gin.
Great choice. Any particular brand? Who cares what you choose?
Whatever the cheapest thing is.
Classic. I love your style, sir. I love your style.
He's going to be a big tipper.
Yeah, we have a high roller in the house. Call the pit boss. Brilliant. So gin martini, and then you would usually go down. Now there's tons of routes typically, but you would go dry, wet, Gibson, or dirty.
Okay.
There would be the 4.
So dry means what?
Dry means you'd have a little bit of dry vermouth in it. Bone dry is like the extreme. You pretty much just get a glass of gin with no vermouth. Wet, there's a 50-50 ratio as well, but wet would be a lot of vermouth. Sometimes you go up to 50% vermouth, 50% gin.
Okay.
Again, a fantastic drink. Dirty is a wee bit of olive brine, wee bit of vermouth, couple of olives in there, and then a Gibson. Can kind of roll a few different ways, but it's with a pickled onion, yeah.
Okay.
Which is delicious. Not all the time. Like if you ordered a dry, but you could still have an olive garnish, or maybe a citrus. So
the rules aren't hard and fast.
No, they're not. But getting to that point, like I would want you as a discerning martini drinker to know that you could choose those. So like out of those, you've chosen it, and then my last thing would be like, how would you like it garnished? If it's a dirty martini, you always go olives.
Of course.
Very rarely would you go a citrus zest on that.
And so this is in shot for anybody who can see it. It's a large piece of lemon.
Yeah, well, so this one, I actually, when we were off camera there, I was like, oh, how do you want your martini? And it was like, go as classic as you can think. And as classic as I can think is like the Duke's Martini in London, where Alessandro has just this fridge of like 30 odd gin bottles and they're frozen, and he just brings them out and pours it in. And then
it's pre-made essentially.
It's pre-made, yeah.
Okay.
Like comes absolutely freezing cold. And then he gets this big bergamot lemon and just peels it right at your table, just like this. So you get like all those like lemon zest just like bouncing around you, and it's just there, big and beautiful.
And so, obviously, in Ireland, in a lot of cases, when somebody goes and orders a martini now, it requires a bit of clarification, because in general they'll mean the espresso martini, and it might mean a porn. I mean, I think, is the espresso the most popular cocktail in Ireland, or maybe the porn star?
Yeah, probably espresso and porn star, and I like that. Like the porn star derives possibly from the family of like the fruit martinis, and porn star actually originated from a guy when he was working in South Africa and brought it across. But yeah, I think the clarity of like, as a cocktail bar in Ireland, specifically Ireland, or even anywhere, to be honest, if you're like, we have a martini menu, to my ears that sounds very different to what the general public might expect. Yeah. So I think it's just being clear with guests.
It's like a daiquiri versus a strawberry daiquiri.
100%. Yeah. And I think that just steps of service and just allowing people not to feel stupid, because not everyone wants a glass of gin like this.
Exactly, because there is a lot of alcohol in that.
Yeah, like it's beautifully presented when it's finessed and done right, but that isn't the same person who necessarily just wants to go out and have an espresso martini. And saying that, you and I have went out and we're like, love an espresso martini, and we smash them, and it's class. And at that moment in time, if somebody had to give us a vodka or gin martini, we'd be like, stop it.
Yeah.
So I think it's
just I'm past that point of the night where I wanted a vodka or gin martini. I don't need 70 mils of alcohol.
Which
is essentially what it is.
So I think did that help with the
No, it definitely did. And I think that's a helpful segment for people who just want to go up to a bar and don't necessarily want to be bamboozled with, those questions were not bamboozling, but I think sometimes people just are hesitant to go up and order like that.
Yeah. If you want to buy me a drink, I'm a dry martini. 6-1. So 60 mils.
I'm a dirty like your mother, dirty dry martini.
Wow. Yeah. That's the end of your drink.
You're cut off.
Have you actually ever heard of probably the most famous martini?
Go on.
It's kind of the funniest one. It's called the Churchill Martini.
Okay.
Where Winston Churchill apparently ordered his martinis, and it was just straight gin stirred in the direction of France. Where the vermouth.
Because he had such an aversion to French products.
So that's as close as like a vermouth. And I love that. That's funny.
It is funny. It is funny. So you've shown me some of your culinary prowess. So what I'm going to show you now, breaded or battered?
What do you mean?
Have you ever had a rizzle?
A rizzle?
Yeah. We're in
Wexford. Is that like
Wexford.
another snack?
It is a quintessentially Wexford Town snack. Mm-hmm. So breaded or battered? You have to choose, and that's you for life.
But is it like, because I love battered sausages, is it like a sausage? Like, is it like a meat samosa?
I'll show you. All right. Come with me.
Okay.
All right. So let's wrap up.
Okay, grand.
Episode 3 of Poor Decisions right there. And we'll go get some results.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was a great one.
Yeah.
Thanks, producer Dan.
He's giving a thumbs up for
those
out there.
Yeah.
For those of you who can't see. Augustina, you also get a thank you. Augustina's looking at us being like, what
We were comedy, don't worry. And thanks to Johnny, the Sky in the Ground, and thanks for giving us all the Wexford chat. I actually didn't know half of that.
Yeah, well, now you do. So, episode 3 in the bag, done.
Yeah, cheers. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Where should we go next? Or where should we go for the
chipper? Run to the premiere next door. You can't go anywhere else.
I was trying to do one of those YouTube things where I'm like, oh, in the comments, tell us where to go next. But we're actually just going to the chipper.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sláinte.
Cheers. Oh, here. I'm good. That is tasty.
You're all right.